And a couple of pieces I think that are going to be very, very pivotal for LSU in 2024. 3 players to watch, 3 players whose roles will grow and who will probably exceed expectations. I think number 1, start this list off, Chris Hilton Jr. Not only did he have a good game in the bowl game, 3 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown, he had a huge dive. Reeled one in from Garrett Nussmeier, got up, did a little first down celebration. That was exciting to see. You know, he missed time in 2022 with a shoulder injury. He missed the last 10 games of the season. That's a huge chunk of time. But I think this year, you know, he got in. He played a lot. He stuck to his role. Several big catches at LSU. 81-yard touchdown versus Kansas State in the Texas Bowl. 51-yard catch versus New Mexico in 2022 before the injury. And this year, he had 3 huge catches over 40 yards. So I think he's one of your surefire targets. You know, with someone like Kyron Lacey returning, big wide receiver 1, going to attract a lot of attention. He's a hard matchup. It's going to kind of free up some space for Chris Hilton. So I think, you know, he's going to be a guy you're going to want to keep your eye on. And another one, this is kind of hard to miss, Caleb Jackson. I think Caleb Jackson, insanely fast, huge build. Reminds me of Leonard Fournette. I think his future at LSU is bright. Every time he gets somebody one-on-one, good luck. They normally get ran over. And in this running back room, so competitive. He had 3 guys above him, Logan Diggs, Josh Williams, and Noah Cain, and he still got his. He got 4 touchdowns.
And John Emery.
Yeah, true. 11 games played for Caleb Jackson. And as a true freshman, you know, getting the nod from Frank Wilson, Brian Kelly, and even Mike Denbrock, it says a lot about his potential. It says a lot about what they see in him. So I think we're going to see a lot more in not only his role, but just his output in general. Third, Ashton Stamps. I think that he's going to be your bright spot in a very dark situation for the DB room. You saw, you know, 4 DBs transfer in last transfer portal class, and I don't know how many of those 4 they're going to retain if they keep Zy Alexander, but, you know, Deuce Chestnut gone, Denver Harris gone, and J.K. Johnson recovering from that injury. I think that him playing 4 games, or excuse me, starting 4 games as a true freshman, that's going to be the kicker for me as to why I think his role is going to grow and he's going to hit the ground running next season, because he's already got that experience. You know, he's getting the nerves out the way. He's ironing the kinks out in his game. And I overheard a conversation with him and Nussmeier on the field. You know, they kind of embraced after the bowl game, and he told Nuss, you know, you made me better this year. So putting a true freshman out, a little bit scary. We saw it with Weeks. We saw it with Womack. You know, a lot of people, I'm not going to say that they didn't want them out there in terms of on the coaching staff, but it's just, you hold your breath. You don't want to put a high schooler out there with a minimal experience. But when you do, and when it works, now you got somebody that can play a full 4 years of their career at an expert level. You know, they're going to be almost the veterans next season. So I think that Ashton Stamps, his role is going to grow. He's going to turn a lot of heads. Who are you looking forward to most next year?
I definitely like the names that you said. Caleb Jackson has all the makeup to be one of the best running backs to come out of LSU. When you talk about Chris Hilton, the thing with him is durability. If he's healthy, Chris Hilton could help this team and stretch the defense and be an impact player on that offense next year. Ashton Stamps, yeah, he had some bumps in the road this year. He had some trials and tribulations, but the talent is there, and you can't replace experience. I think next year, you know, especially depending on who they hire at the DB coach, you see him take another step. So I like those 3 names. My 3 names is, I got to stay with the edge rushers, man. We got to make sure we understand the importance of what makes LSU defense big time, especially when you look in the past. They've always been able to get to the quarterback. And I think Deshaun Womack is the #1 guy that has to have a big season next year. He showed flashes this year of being able to get to the quarterback. Wasn't consistent. We know why. They didn't have a consistent D-line coach this year. With Lindsey being going down with the brain tumor, and just the uncertainty in that room all year long, that probably played a role into why they had a season low in the last 12 years with 31 sacks. Dylan Carpenter, I know he didn't get any time this year, but I think this is somebody that takes another step in the spring, and he's able to have some type of role rushing the passer next year. Savion Jones, right? Savion Jones, I think he might have put on a little too much weight this season. I think you see LSU get him to shred about 10 to 15 pounds and get a little more leaner so he can show that pass rushing ability like he did last year. I think if LSU does that, man, they are in prime position to get back to being one of the best defenses, not only in the SEC, but in the country. But it all starts up front when they're able to get to the passer. And when you watch last season versus this season, they was able to get to the passer with Ojolari, Harold Perkins coming off the edge. This year, you just didn't see that. There's no reason in the world with Harold Perkins playing a prominent linebacker role this year should be leading the team in sacks with 5.5, right? That should be Deshaun Womack. That should be Savion Jones. That should be people like that that lead this team in sacks next year. So that's what I want to see, man. I want to see the edge rushers take another step this year. And if you got to go in the portal and find a prominent pass rusher, they need to do that. Because when you do that, I don't give a damn if you got Patrick Peterson or Maurice Claiborne on the back end. If they got to cover for 3-4 seconds, it's going to be a tragedy.